Good evening, everybody. It's great to be on tonight. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you clicking on the video as always. I want to talk about Emory University just quickly. Now, I can't take the credit for this information. Um, I found it on winepress.org. I think that's his website. I forget the kid's name. I think it's Jacob. Jacob Thompson, I think his name is. Don't quote me on that. Has some great stuff over there, so I want to give, I guess, when I was growing up, we say give a shout out to Jacob Thompson over at winepress.org. He puts out some pretty good stuff. I don't get time to read all of his stuff. I try to check out what he's got in there. It's basically a news type thing with real information, not mainstream media stuff, so it's pretty good study. Now, I don't always go by his story. I always fact check his story, just like we would fact check a pastor and preacher to see if they're actually using the Bible, the King James Bible. But we always fact check. We should always judge him by the scriptures. So I do the same thing with him. I go to secular sites to see if it matches up, and so far, every time he's on the money. But I want to talk about Emory University because they're now restricting access to unvaccinated kids. So apparently, if you're vaccinated, you get high-speed internet. If you're unvaccinated, you don't. So I'm gonna put on my glasses. Don't want to forget a little bit of this. What I've discovered, not from his article. I went his title basically spurred me to look up it elsewhere, which we should. We should be searching like the Bereans on everything we look at. So Emory University, which is in Atlanta, Georgia, but what I found interesting is their religious affiliation was United Methodist Church. Not the United Church or the Methodist Church, but the United Methodist Church. And a lot of you know out there, if you're Bible believers, you see the word united in it. Always seems to be a problem. United, Unitarian, always an issue there. And I apologize if I'm going real quickly here, but I'm wondering, will they start separating them like they did? You know, when you go to restaurants, will there be masking or unmasking section? Like the smoking and non-smoking, will it be mask or unmask? I'd like to have the masking section, please. That's kind of where we might be heading. I wouldn't doubt it, other than the fact that people are going to be browbeaten. They will be ridiculed and feel embarrassed, but don't. Don't ever feel that way. If you're a true Bible believer, you don't be embarrassed and you don't fall for this nonsense. But I was looking a little deeper on this, and the president of the company right now, the president of the university at this current time, a guy named Gregory Fenves, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right, but Fenves, is part of Quill and Dagger. Now, if you don't know what Quill and Dagger is the equivalent to Skull and Bones over at Yale University. Actually, side note, Yale University is actually buying Eastern Connecticut Healthcare System there. ECHN, for any of you in Connecticut, you know what I'm talking about. So Yale is buying that. So take that what you will. And here's the thing. So you have this gentleman who's part of a secret society. And we all know about all the secret societies. Oh, it's just a fraternity. It's not a really big deal. Well, then you have to go deeper into who is in there. And I think I was reading that every year or once every year or something like that, a year or two, I'm sorry, I don't remember. It was either 1 or 2 years. They get a member in the Congress. Secret societies. Now, why is this a matter for Emory University, who's a religious affiliation? Well, if you were really following the Bible, so don't call yourselves Christian, because if you were really following the Bible, you wouldn't be doing this restriction. So remember, this religious affiliated organization is segregating in a different form, but mask or unmask. And I've said a long time ago, this is about ideology, it's not about race. You can throw that out the window. You can't be that ignorant anymore. Too much information and too many people from different places. And too many different sides. African American, black, which is the same, Asian, Korean, Middle Eastern, it's all across the board. All across the board. So, in my opinion, one should not go to Emory University if they care about what little freedom you have. because that's taken away. They make excuses like, well, I mean, the unvaccinated, we're just taking 7-a-day protocols. Protocols of what? Their internet doesn't have COVID. So that's the biggest lie of all time. But I want to make that quick video, the fact that how many more colleges will do that? They'll split down. It's a completely different form of blacks drink from that fountain, whites on that fountain. Somebody's going to go, there's no way that's a comparison. Well, are you not dividing people? But instead of by color, you're dividing them by choice. That's really sad. Well, and again, shout out to winepress.org, Jacob Thompson. When I saw that headline, I had to immediately check into that, and he was definitely right on the money with the title. Didn't read his article. I'm sorry, Jacob, if you ever watched this. I did not read the article, but the title was enough for me to do a little digging, and I think that's the most important part. You make someone go dig something, and that's the best part. Thank you again. I appreciate it. God bless, and you have a great night.